Yo, so we're gonna take a trip down memory lane. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a little walk, and I'm gonna explain to you why you need to be walking to the Terrapin Teachers building. The physics building, you need to be walking straight there because your next career waiting for you. Opportunities waiting for you in that building. And we're gonna take a trip down memory lane. I'm gonna explain to y'all how I got involved in Terrapin Teachers to begin with. So first, you probably wonder, who am I anyway? My name is Abe Kyei-Asare. I'm a graduate of the class of 2020, COVID year, but I'm a graduate of the class of 2020, where I graduated with my bachelor's in computer science, and I'm also a graduate of the class of 2021, where I got my master's degree in curriculum and teaching as part of the MSIR program. So what did my experience in computer science look like as an undergrad? You know, beyond the projects completed at 11:58 and submitted by 11:59 p.m., beyond the office hours, I would say a lot of newness. A lot of newness. So I had dabbled in different sciences, the chemistries, your physics, the biologies, but I had never ever heard of computer science. So when I come to find out that people are learning how to talk to the computer here at school, I was like, yo, let me request permission, let me take that course. Found out, I was like, yo, this is a brand new lingo. It was a brand new lingo. It was exciting to me. The prospect of being, because I've never been the most artistic. I sing a little bit, but I've never been the most artistic. So the idea of being able to create with the computer was something I was like, yo, this is me, this is my spotlight, this is my time to shine. So there's a lot of newness, learning by practice, learning by exploration, and sorts. And yeah, like as part of the computer science program, right, we have to take certain classes that are not certain upper level courses that are not computer science related. You have to choose an upper level concentration. Well, when I found that out, I was like, yo, I have an interest in teaching already. Like, I was already a teaching assistant. Like, I was working as a teaching assistant. I like teaching. I like engaging with people, helping and explain things that I previously didn't understand to other people, helping people unlock potential. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, why not do my upper level concentration in education? And come to find out, there was a Terrapin Teachers program that was launching up, or that had recently launched. And I was like, yo, this is the perfect opportunity to start in that pathway and build up, because I need to do an upper level concentration in something that's not computer science related anyway. All right, so I started taking the courses, TLPL 101, 102 into 401, etc. And I loved the experiences. I got to go into elementary school, I got to go into middle school, I got to plan lessons, work as part of teaching teams, and honestly just fit perfectly with my schedule as a computer science major already, because I needed upper level courses, right? So yeah, right, thankfully, when I actually decided to do the +1 MSIR the +1 program, some of the upper level courses that I took ended up counting towards the master's, right, which allowed me to do it in a year, right? Like, I didn't even have to take summer courses that first summer, right? Some of my courses already counted towards it, so I already was gaining credits towards my master's on top of satisfying my upper level concentration for computer science. Yo, if that don't sound like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, or 3 birds, or 4 birds, I don't know what does. So where am I now? I mean, as you can see, I'm at the illustrious University of Maryland. But as far as work, last year I was a full-time software engineer with an educational company called Clever, and I was working part-time at Blair, a school in Montgomery County, where I was teaching a modified version of AP Computer Science, Java, right? And this year I transitioned into a role where I'm working full-time in Montgomery County, and I'm split between the University of Maryland, where I'm teaching TLPL courses, full circle moment, and some computer science courses in the spring. And at the same time, teaching full year round with Northwood High School, again, teaching AP Computer Science principles and AP Computer Science Java. One of the things that I have to say I enjoy most about my current position is the ability to have impact on multiple layers of the tech pipeline, if you will. So we know that tech has a diversity issue, right? That's not that's not news, right? We know that the demographic is not representative, that there are certain demographics and groups of people that are historically underrepresented in tech. We know that. Argue with someone else. It's the facts. It's the fact of the matter. Right? And when I think about that pipeline issue, it's multi-layered. Think about it, right? We could talk about the college level, right, and look at the major breakdown, right, the computer science major breakdown, who retention rates among demographics. But we can also go backwards, right? We can think about the high school level. What students are ones that are being exposed to computer science, and we even go before that, middle school, elementary school. Typically or historically, it's only particular magnet programs, right, which even then are typically composed of certain demographics compared to others, right? I can say the same thing for myself at the school where I was at last year, where my magnet program at the high school level was not diverse, right? There were less women, there were less minority groups represented in the magnet classes that even I was teaching there, right? So it's multiple layers to the issue. And one thing that I really like about my position is that I have the ability to kind of impact at multiple stages, where I'm able to help expose students at the high school level and facilitate positive computer science experiences early, or which may potentially lead them to consider computer science as a major in college. And at the same time, I'm able to help facilitate positive experiences at the college level, introductory computer science experiences for college students, right? And help them build a strong foundation that may contribute to better retention. You know what I'm saying? And so we have high school students, which are actually more high school students from minority groups and demographics contributing or considering computer science as a major. And then we have those same demographics and groups of people sticking with the computer science majors. Then ideally we have more representation actually applying and working, right, them software jobs. And that, you know what I'm saying, leads to, you know what I'm saying, tech that is more inclusive, you know what I'm saying, tech that can better service different groups of people. So one thing I really appreciate about my position right now is just the ability to have my hand in multiple layers of this overall pipeline issue, if that makes sense. So what would I say my favorite parts? Especially when it comes to the high school, I would say some of my favorite parts is, one, definitely the relational aspect. Like, really think about, you know what I'm saying, your college level class, you know what I'm saying, you sitting in 131, 132, you got 50 people to your left, 15 people to your right, you know what I'm saying, and one professor. You know, sometimes you even come to office hours and there's a line, there's 9 people in front of you, and you know that bug is a difficult bug. You're not gonna see the other 8 people, you know what I mean? So you really kind of miss out on the relational aspect, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't feel like your professor really know you at all. It's the high school level, you know, it's much smaller classes. Like, I have an opportunity to actually get to know, you know, each one of my students, and as I get to know them, I can use that to inform my teaching. You know, like, as I think about things like culturally relevant teaching, you know what I'm saying, like, teaching is only as culturally relevant, you know what I'm saying, as the student, as really your students. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to appeal to their culture. I'm trying to appeal to the things they know. I'm trying to appeal to what is relevant to them, and it's hard to do that if I don't know them. So I definitely like the relational aspect, where I'm able to actually have deeper relationships with my students. I can learn about them as individuals, and I can use that to inform my teaching. You know what I'm saying? That actually goes into the second thing that I like about teaching at the high school level, where I have kind of more freedom to be able to, while, you know, the topics themselves maybe kind of set in stone, I have freedom about, you know, the backdrop under which I teach. I have freedom about the examples that I choose to show. I can create new ones. I can create and tweak projects, you know what I mean? I think about something like algorithms. We talk about algorithms. There are culturally situated algorithms like hair braiding, you know what I'm saying, which is not something that you know what I'm saying, I really ever thought too much about, you know what I'm saying, before, you know what I'm saying, thinking through intentional ways to make the content come alive for my students. So I would say, like, yeah, the relational aspect is one of the things that I've enjoyed the most. Like, have you ever wished that the curriculum that was taught to you in your computer science class was better? You are in the driver's seat. Like, you have an opportunity to facilitate that change, you know what I'm saying, for more positive experiences for the next gen, you know what I'm saying. And what do you find is that it contributes to deeper learning on their part, you know what I'm saying, increased retention, better reception, you know what I'm saying, people thinking generally more highly of the subject matter itself, you know, not as something that is historic or aged, but as something that is really relevant. And last but certainly not least, as far as teaching TLPL 101, man, it's so encouraging to be a part, honestly, of TLPL 101, just to see how intentional the whole program and the staff is about continuing to build, continue to refine our curriculum, to continue to make sure that we are meeting student needs, that we are reevaluating our own thoughts about how we approach teaching, you know what I'm saying, how we can ensure that we are, as a collective, taking into consideration a number of perspectives. Like, being a part of TLPL 101 and being a part of the teaching staff is being a part of a staff and a program that is really passionate about improving the state of education, about increasing the accessibility of education, about equipping and empowering teachers to be able to facilitate that sort of change. Some of the best parts when I think about TLPL 101 are the opportunity to really equip students across different majors. Like, when I think about this first course, like, this is my first year teaching it, like, I have students all across the board, you know what I'm saying, all across different majors. You really see just how versatile teaching practice is. You know what I'm saying? We can actually, something that I never really knew before Terrapin Teachers was that I always thought about teaching as something that you have a natural talent for, and didn't really realize that teaching is instead something that you can actually learn and grow in. It's a practice that you can actually improve upon. So yeah, the opportunity to really help equip people across subject matter to kind of inspire and improve education across multiple fronts, you know what I'm saying, not just in computer science, which is my specialty, but across biology, in mathematics, in physics, you know what I'm saying, being able to work with and gain perspectives from people across subject matter, right, across content lines, is something that I've definitely appreciated. You know what I'm saying? I've also appreciated the very practical aspects of it, going into schools, you know what I'm saying, like actually seeing our students go into elementary schools and facilitate the curriculum for themselves. You know, like some courses, like even when you think about computer science, you know, you do a little project, you do your little lab exercise, but it feels very far off from the end product of what sometimes, and I've done internships as well, it feels very far off what you learn in school from what actually takes place in industry. But we learning real skills, we refining real skills over here in Terrapin Teachers. You feel me? Not that your skills ain't real, but we were finding real skills, and we've turning it around, flipping it around, and putting them into practice almost immediately. We teaching our students, and we sending them in to the elementary schools, we sending them in to the middle schools, we sending them into the schools to actually put it into practice. So I've really appreciated the practical aspect of and being a part of that, and helping to facilitate that. That's part of TLPL 101, man. So with that, be honest with y'all, what are you waiting for? I'm walking into the Terrapin Teachers building right now, and I want to see you here.